Talking about Horizons West, and we're going to talk about, are there any musical or lyrical callbacks that people should be listening for that are tying the two records together?
That's mostly a Dustin question. Maybe.
No, not musical. I'll do lyrical first. So like, I'd say kind of one of the cool things about delaying this, because we were originally going to put these two records out back to back. We had a bunch of songs, and then we fried ourselves, and we're like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Mm-hmm. And we said maybe we shouldn't, so we didn't. So some of the songs that were left originally for the session are on this record. So Undertow was pretty far along. Holding On was there. And then ideas for Unit of West. There might have been pieces of other stuff, but I think those were the big chunks. But then delaying it lyrically, I was able to lean into like that dichotomy between East and West a bit more. And so the result is, I think this is the most lyrically themed record other than the Alchemy Index that we have. Just because I had enough time to really be processing it ahead of time and thinking, how do I work this stuff in there? So, using that idea of West and kind of dealing with mortality, stuff like that, from a variety of different angles, endings, the way endings become beginnings and stuff like that. But so that's the big contrast there.
And then you're saying endings just because the sun sets in the West.
That's correct. And then musically there are some tie-ins.
Are there?
There are. So the very beginning of the record.
Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah. That's a good one.
Did we take some of the tone from the end of the other one too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we took some of the tone that's ringing out at the very end of East, which was all these overtones that we got when we were recording the Unit of East. They would just hang as I like hit the last note and held, and we're just kind of vibrating. So that was the sound at the end of that. It's a bunch of that just on top of each other. We took some of that, put in the beginning, and we took the sound,
pitch shifted it to fit the right key.
Pitch shifted it, and then we took Ed's like little bubbly thing that's in the beginning of the first song on
Color
East. Yeah. And did we shift that one? I think we shifted that one too, and kind of matched the speed.
It's pitched. Is it reversed?
No, it's going like half speed or half as many times.
Okay, yeah.
But you can hear it in there. You'll hear the little bubbly, but that's from the last record too. And then the other big tie-in, I think musically, is which we were always planning to do something like this, but Horizons East ends with Unit of East, which is an idea ahead of trying to musically show the idea of everything being connected. And so it's all these different time signatures playing over each other on the piano and creating different melodies and patterns. And so this time we did essentially the same idea, added one more because it's dorky. Now it's not the 11th record, but it's 12. So it goes up to 12 and then deconstructs back down. But we did it not on the piano, but with these tines that were out in like a public park. And
did that come before the piano version?
No, but
like demo wise.
But I had already like demoed it back when we were working on East. So it's got the same structure lyrically, but it's kind of dealing with different subject matter, and so that was fun to do, and is I think a cool tie-in. It kind of functions almost similarly to like the sonnets at the end of the Alchemy EPs.
Definitely.
Yeah. Was it harder or easier to make Horizons West knowing that it would be inevitably compared to Horizons East?
Hmm.
I feel like the writing East was such a weird writing process.
How so?
Just that there were delays because of pandemic, and like we weren't writing together in the same room for like
Much
health
more virtual
reason.
writing.
Yeah, but we did get together. Yeah, I just feel like the way we had a lot of time with that one.
I don't know if we used all of it.
Right.
Right.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
So it's hard to compare. You're just saying because it was a weird time coming out of
Yeah, I
pandemic
like.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think this record being compared to East was really a thought. At least for me, it didn't really occur to me. I mean, every record you do is going to be compared against the last record you did anyway. So it's
Yeah.
not anything too new.
I think maybe the like giving ourselves extra time to work on it kind of eliminated some of that pressure, at least for me. Like,
Just the space in general. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like it allowed us to let it be what it wanted to be instead of maybe feeling that time crunch and trying to force it to be the companion to East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think on my end, just that time was nice for the thematic stuff. And I almost wish like I would have understood that sooner about the last record to like be able to edit that more, but it was kind of halfway through that we decided to split it. So
Right.
I think it being tied conceptually could have been more challenging, but it was actually kind of exciting because we could do stuff like use a tone from East on West or reuse Ed's bass loop thing. It's always cool to me when you can tie stuff in that way and use it as something that's like exciting instead of like, oh God, we have to do this.
yeah.
Right.
What is something unspoken that always happens between the four of us when we are recording a record?
Unspoken.
I feel like you have an answer, Tepe.
No.
Oh.
What do you think that question means?
I don't know.
Exactly.
It's making me think though.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, we don't have to.
I mean, I feel like I feel like there's a lot of trust that we have, and I mean, I hope I'm not just saying this alone, but like, there's we've worked together for so long. I think like, I know, I feel like at least I depend on everybody for like, your opinions of like what I'm doing, or like maybe if I can't figure something out, or like the way a song should progress, like I know somebody will come up with something that can like help, or I don't know. I feel like there's like an ecosystem that is super strong, and
yeah, I think overall we've all gotten better at sensing when like everybody else is on a different page and just being like, okay,
right.
and not like stressing on it. I think that was harder, at least it was for me before, being like, oh, but this is the way it was. And like, so you learn when are like the things where you're like, oh, well, I would have preferred it that way. And then you forget about it later, and it goes under. And then there's other things you learn, like, no, this is like really important. I gotta make people understand it. And so I think on both ends of that, when that happens, people are like, oh, okay. Like I didn't see it the way, but that's cool.
I think like trusting that everything will get to where it needs to be too, like, because songs kind of enter the recording sessions in different levels of completion. Like some are very buttoned up and feeling great, and some are kind of open-ended in some ways, but knowing that it will get to where it needs to be is comforting, and maybe something that we were less
just like trusting the process and like trusting each other.
Yeah, and trusting like yourself from a couple weeks ago when you're like,
well, there's a lot.
Why am I doing this? Like what? Like you just lose all perspective. I definitely at the end of this one was like, I don't know if it's good anymore. I know that it was good, so I think it's probably still good.
Right. And
then it was so nice taking that break between getting mixes back. It's just a couple weeks, but I was like, oh God, that's good. That's neat.
Yeah. And also from like, I guess from my perspective, like since we're self-producing it, like sort of trusting that everybody can self-edit their performances too. Like that's kind of a big one. 'Cause I'm sitting there engineering it. So it's like, I'll look at you and be like, was that good?
Right.
And you'll be like, yeah, let's do it over. And I trust that,
Right.
So
what are the biggest challenges about recording and producing the record ourselves?
Hey.
A lot of falls to Tepe doing the engineering. If you don't know, engineering is kind of like the physical getting of sound onto digital tape and all of the little intricacies that come with that. Producing kind of refers more to the bigger picture of making the record.
It's kind of like the opinion side, and I guess engineering would be the execution.
Technical, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so I think this has held true for us a lot, where self-producing is really great in a lot of ways. We take things that we've learned working with other people and apply them without that kind of fifth voice being in there and helping steer things, which there's definitely times, I think every time we're self-doing it, I'm like, there's a moment where I'm like, damn it, I wish there was like someone else to like help right now.
Right.
And then every time we do it with someone else, there's plenty of times where we're like, God, I wish we were just doing it on our own.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, there's a balance there.
There are pros and cons for sure. And I also think that us self-producing and doing everything on our own wouldn't work, but wouldn't work as well without our experience working with other producers.
Oh, for sure.
Because like you said, we are applying a lot of what we've learned from other people. So yeah, I don't know. I guess there's challenges to both.
Yeah. I mean, I think for you, it's hard doing double duty of like engineering side and writing and just more stuff.
'Tis more.
I feel like this might have been something I've mentioned something in the past, but like since we have like when we're self-producing, since we have like a relationship with each other that is lasting and will like we can like work through like a difficulty or something. I feel like with like a producer, you have like there's like a level of like input that you can put in before they stop trusting you or something. Like you can be like, oh, but what if we do this? And they're like, oh, but what if we do this guy? Like, okay, I'm not going to listen to this guy. Or like, but with us, like I can be like, okay, I know I'm that guy. And normally I wouldn't be able to do 2 of those in a day, but today I think I can do 2. And they won't hate me, or they might hate me today, but they won't hate me tomorrow. Like, and like, yeah, recording, like, there's so much of that, like you're like, oh, you get like super like excited about something, but like it doesn't mean that it's not like a hill you're gonna die on, but it's like, should I put this out in the ether or not? Because it could like create a flurry of like, no, not that, but this, and then those things kind of like bounce around. But with a producer, I feel like sometimes that's a little bit like scarier.
Well, you're also not on somebody else's time or dime. Like
kind of like I respect your.
I mean, I guess, but like, you know, with a producer, you're paying literally
Right.
for his time, his or her time, and usually you're not in your own space, so you're paying for studio time, which is super expensive. So there is like a freedom in that sense too. Of doing it. So I guess we're only talking about cons now. I mean, pros.
Yeah. Cons.
I mean, sometimes it is, like Dust said, it would be nice to have, like, because there are 4 people in the band, and if we're split 50-50, it's nice to have an outside voice. But
well, and that fifth voice like carries more weight than almost any one person, just because it's new, and so everyone is like lending a little bit of like, I'll try to go with that, like,
and then it depends on the kind of producer you're working with too. If they're like a facilitator, or if they're like I am going to do my thing to this band.
Which I don't think we've ever really had.
No.
I don't think it would.
I think
go
intentionally.
Well.
We had the opportunity to work with some, I will do this with your band. But I could see how it would be like a very slippery slope between accepting the input and like, whoa, is this record getting away from us? So there's something really cool about knowing that this is the truest expression of ourselves.
Right. It's fairly easy. Was there a different approach to recording West than East?
Not too much, I don't think. I feel like we were a little more free and like, and I think we talked about it before we started tracking, but we've always been pretty strict with ourselves about not doing too many overdubs and like trying to keep things more or less like the instruments that we can physically play. And I feel like we were a little looser with that this time around. Like if we wanted to double a guitar part, we just did it.
It's like for the most part, keeping it stripped, it just kind of.
I mean, the end result though it still feels pretty raw and live or vibey, I guess. But like it, I feel like there was like, I mean, at least from my perspective when I was working on it, I was like, geez, this is a lot of tracks on a lot of stuff. So.
The only time we've been super strict was like Beggars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's I think something that we all would align with, is just the idea that generally less is more, and it's tempting, I think, especially when you get into making like heavier music. You're like, yes, more things will be more heavy, and I think we've learned that the dynamics of things get lost in that situation. So when you get away with one guitar track, get away with one guitar track. Sometimes you're like, okay, it does need one more guitar track, and how do we make that one work with this one to kind of support it? And usually no one's gonna hear it as, 2 guitars or even as like layered guitars, but so that was a little different. I do think we kind of invested a little bit in a couple of random things so that we were able to be set up in here to record whatever we wanted, whenever we wanted, instead of having to totally switch from like drum time to vocal time to guitar time. And so we set everything up different. We bought a couple more mics so we didn't have to remic everything.
That was nice too, from an engineering standpoint, because more or less I set everything up once and then everything was ready to be mic'd and used at any point. So that was nice. I mean, minimal switch over. But
yeah, especially that was helpful for me. Singing, I think we were able to like tie singing days or like half days even along with other stuff, where a lot of times we get piled up at the end, and then my voice is not feeling great from that. I always try to figure out why recording is so different than live, and I feel like I just figured it out on this record. Is it's unnatural to sing the same thing over and over. It's like to the same spot, and your voice is getting worn and more and more and more. And whereas
That makes sense.
you play live and you're singing all sorts of things, different songs, different keys, and so it's essentially like just keeping your voice warm the whole time. And this just wears it out right away. So it was good to kind of see that and realize that's what's going on. And I don't know, spreading the days out though was helpful on this one. I feel like this is the first record in a long time that like I didn't have like vocal issues. I think I barely kind of got like weird sicky ones, but I feel like the last couple records I've been like, oh crap, I got real sick and now I'm trying to recover, and now less days to do it. And
well, that's the good thing about the way we did it too, is that if you weren't feeling great one day, we could just move on and keep.
Yeah,
doing
and we
something
did
else.
do a little bits of that. Yeah, so
Yeah, before it was just like, well,
I guess we're not going to record today. Yeah,
or guess we are recording today, and you
figure something out.
gotta sing it, and it's gonna be fine, but not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.